Get ready, because what just unfolded inside the White House press room is the kind of political clash that doesn't just fade away. It gets talked about for years. Kaitlan Leavitt didn't just hold her own in a debate during the White House press briefing. She completely dismantled CNN's Caitlyn Collins, live, unfiltered, and in front of the entire nation. This was supposed to be a routine press conference. Nothing unusual. Journalists asking a few sharp questions, the administration delivering rehearsed responses, followed by the usual spin cycle on cable news. That was the expectation. But what actually transpired? No one, least of all Caitlyn Collins, saw it coming. For years, CNN has worked tirelessly to craft narratives, control what the public sees and hears, and push an agenda through its network. But live television has a way of exposing the truth, and this time, there was no way for them to edit their way out of what was about to unfold. The cameras were rolling, the press room was packed, and Caitlyn Collins was convinced. This was her moment. She was ready to land the ultimate gotcha question, the one that would leave Caroline stammering, searching for words, backed into a corner. She took her shot. On the freeze in federal funding, who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies that they don't have to spend money already appropriated by Congress? It was a question carefully designed to trip Caroline up, to make the administration seem reckless, like they were playing fast and loose with the law. Caitlyn's tone carried that familiar smug confidence, expecting hesitation, maybe even a slip-up, something CNN could milk for days. But Caroline didn't even blink. Well, as the OMB memo states, this is fully within the confines of the law, she replied, cool and composed. So the White House counsel's office believes this is within the president's power, and that's why he's doing it. No hesitation. No uncertainty. Just facts. Caitlyn tried again, pressing harder, as if repeating the question could somehow shake Caroline's confidence. So they disagree with lawmakers who say they don't have the power to freeze this funding? Caroline's response was immediate, sharp, and unwavering. I'd point you again to the language in the memo, which clearly states this is within the law. Boom. Another direct hit. Caitlyn was trying to poke holes in something that had already been legally justified. The energy in the press room had shifted. Reporters could feel what was happening. But Caitlyn wasn't giving up just yet. If she couldn't land a blow on the funding freeze, maybe she could pivot to something even more controversial. Straightening in her chair, her voice now laced with the kind of righteous indignation CNN loves to weaponize, she went for it. On what happened Friday night, the administration fired multiple inspectors general without giving Congress the legally required 30-day notice. I believe only 2 were left at DHS and DOJ. And then yesterday, several prosecutors, 12 to be exact, were fired from the Justice Department. These were career prosecutors working on investigations into the president. They have civil service protections. How does this administration decide which laws to follow and which to ignore? This was it. The question Caitlyn had been waiting to spring. She thought it would corner Caroline into either admitting wrongdoing or struggling to justify the administration's actions. Either way, CNN would have their soundbite. But Caitlyn had made a critical mistake. She underestimated Kaitlan Leavitt. Caroline fired back with something Caitlyn couldn't spin, something rooted in both legal precedent and undeniable logic. It is the position of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was well within his executive authority to take these actions. Completely unfazed. He is the executive of the executive branch, and as such, he has the authority to remove personnel within that branch as he sees fit. Caitlyn blinked. That wasn't the answer she had wanted. And then Caroline delivered the knockout. If you're questioning the legality, I'd suggest reviewing the Supreme Court case, Sila Law LLC v. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which directly affirms this authority. Another blow, right in front of the entire press pool. Silence. A flicker of realization crossed Caitlyn's face. This wasn't going the way she had planned. You're confident that if lawsuits are brought against the administration by those fired, the White House will win? Caitlyn asked, her tone losing its earlier sharpness. Caroline didn't even hesitate. Yes. We will win in court. And just like that, Caitlyn Collins had lost. There was no spin CNN could apply to salvage this. No selective editing that could change the outcome. The reality was laid bare for everyone watching. Caroline Leavitt had outclassed Caitlyn in every possible way on live television. And the internet took notice immediately. Clips of the exchange flooded social media. Twitter exploded with reactions. Hashtags like #CNNExposed and #fake news trended within minutes. Conservatives hailed it as an epic takedown. Even some moderates admitted that Collins had walked into a fight she wasn't prepared for. Panic set in at CNN. They knew this looked bad, really bad. They scrambled to contain the damage, pushing out their own heavily edited versions of the exchange, desperately trying to control the narrative before it spiraled further. But it was too late. The full, unedited footage was already circulating, spreading across platforms like wildfire. And it wasn't just Twitter. YouTube channels were analyzing the moment frame by frame. TikTok was flooded with clips of Caitlyn's visible discomfort, and conservative media was amplifying Caroline's words to an even larger audience. This was supposed to be Caitlyn's big moment. Instead, it became a moment that cemented Caroline Leavitt as an unshakable force in the political arena. CNN wanted this clip buried, erased, forgotten. But the problem with the internet? Once something is out there, it's out there forever. Caitlyn Collins had walked into the White House press room thinking she was about to land a knockout punch against Caroline Leavitt. Instead, she was the one left scrambling, exposed for exactly what she was, another mainstream media pawn, trying and failing to control the narrative. And the worst part? This was only the beginning. Because as bad as this already looked for C, things were about to get even worse. The next question Caitlyn asked would push Caroline to unleash her most devastating response yet, one that wouldn't just destroy Caitlyn in the moment, but would shake CNN's credibility to its very core. And when you hear what happened next, you'll understand why the network was absolutely desperate to make sure you never saw it.